the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, in a famous hadith says, I am Muhammad and my name is Ahmed. I am Muhammad and my name is Abdullah. And then he says, and I am Muhammad and my name is Israel. My name is Israel.
Wow.
Thank you so much for joining me again, Tiffany.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Today, I want to talk to you about the state of Israel.
Okay.
Okay. And I want to talk about whether or not the state of Israel and the so-called Israelis have the right to even call themselves Israelis or even have a right to the name of Israel.
Okay.
In order to answer that question, I think we're going to have to go back a little bit in history and take a look once again, as we always do, to the Torah, to the Gospels, and to the Quran and narrations of Muhammad and the family of Muhammad alayhi salam.
Okay, sounds good.
So when we go into the Torah, first of all, we find out that the kingdom of Israel is a term which is used to describe the kingdom of the children of Jacob. Because the name Israel itself was a name that God gave to Jacob.
Yes.
And in the Bible, it said that in the Hebrew, the meaning of the name is he who wrestles with God,
yes.
right? So after Jacob wrestles with an angel and manages to defeat him, God bestows upon him this new name. So it's God that gives Jacob the name Israel.
Yes.
And so Israel, we know now, is the name of a prophet, and it's a name that's beloved to God, and he bestows it upon his prophet that he loves. Okay?
Yes.
So it's like a divine name. And so the Bani Israel are called that because they are the children of Israel.
Yes.
And the tribes of Israel are called that because they are the sons of Jacob or the sons of Israel.
Yes.
Now, Jacob has 12 sons, okay? And it is those 12 tribes, those 12 sons that have the, offspring and descendants, each one of them becoming a tribe.
Yep.
And so they multiply, they become many. And then in the time of David and Saul, there's this kingdom that's established. Saul is the first king of Israel. Israel is united. Now, all of the 12 tribes of Israel, all of the children of Jacob are being ruled by the same king, and that's Saul. And then they become ruled by David. David's the second king, often mistaken as the first, but he's the second.
Yes.
And it's kind of like a golden age for Israel.
Yes.
And Jews, Christians, and Muslims, they all agree that during this time period, the name of Israel given to that state is a legitimate name, and that's what it was called. It is the kingdom of Israel.
Yes.
There's no, arguing in terms of that. And then David passes along the kingship and the successorship and prophethood onto Solomon, his son,
yes.
who rules after him. And he becomes the third monarch who sits upon the throne of Israel. But the monarchy of Israel does not last long.
No.
Now, it's here after the kingdom of Solomon, and Solomon, he kind of like his kingdom reaches an all-time high, according to Islamic narrations especially, where he gains authority over the wind, and he's given authority over the jinn, and he's given all kinds of wisdoms, and even in the Bible, the Torah, he has like 700 permanent wives, 300 concubines. He's conquering all over the place. In the Midrash, there's amazing stories about how he had authority and powers over the nations, and he's married to princesses,
yes.
the daughters of the neighboring kings and queens.
Yeah.
Now, according to the Torah, what happens is that he ends up marrying people that are not so good, and they end up doing not so good things. What is it that they do?
They're idol worshippers. They're people who worship other than God, and it says that they led his heart astray. That's what the Bible indicates.
Okay, so he has all these wives. He's not able to be with them all the time. And many of these wives, because they come from different countries, they held on to their beliefs and they were secretly worshiping idols. And this is not a strange thing that a prophet has bad wives. There were some prophets that only had like one or two wives and they were bad, or one of them was bad, like Prophet Lot. Or you know, Prophet Noah in the Islamic tradition, and so he had some bad wives, and they end up building temples and worshiping idols and leading the people astray, and according to the Torah, even leading Solomon astray. This is a mistake that he does, that he allows this and tolerates this very big mistake. And so God becomes angry with Solomon. He sends forward a prophet named Ahijah, and Ahijah has some bad news for Solomon. And the bad news for Solomon is this prophecy that his kingdom is going to split into two. There's going to be a schism. There's going to be a fitna. And now his empire, the kingdom of Israel, is not going to be united anymore. And he appoints, this prophet announces that the successor of Solomon, which was originally intended to be Solomon's son, do you know his name?
Rehoboam.
Rehoboam is no longer going to be the successor, and Ahijah appoints on behalf of God a new successor.
Yes.
And that is Jeroboam.
Yeah.
So this angers Solomon. Solomon becomes upset, and long story short, after the passing of Solomon, Jeroboam, having been appointed by the prophet Ahijah, manages to get the bay'ah, or the pledge of allegiance, or the support of 10 of the tribes.
Yes.
So the descendants of 10 of the children of Israel, they all pledge allegiance and follow Jeroboam, and they reside in the north of Israel, and they establish a kingdom which is called the Kingdom of Israel. It's not united because there's still two tribes, Judah and Benjamin, that are rebelling against Jeroboam, refusing to pledge allegiance to him, and are insisting on holding on tight to the son of Solomon, Rehoboam.
Yeah, it's a huge schism at that point. Yeah, a huge splitting of the kingdoms. It's a big deal. The kingdom of the north and the kingdom of the south.
And Jerusalem ends up remaining in the kingdom of the south, and then what takes place is wondrous. So now you have a king who's ruling, and the kingdom of the south ends up being called the kingdom of Judah. And there's the kingdom of the north, which is the kingdom of Israel. And they're not feeling one another, and they're at war with one another. And there's a lot of animosity between the two of them. And Jerusalem, the place where all of the Jews have to make pilgrimage to, and their direction of worship, is in the south, in the kingdom of Judah.
Yes.
Jeroboam, you know, he wants to solve this matter. What am I going to do? You know, he's worried that because the holy city and the holy spot, the temple, is within the kingdom of Judah, he fears that this is going to give the kingdom of Judah, the kingdom of the south, legitimacy in the eyes of the Israelites. And so he makes a horrible mistake, and he goes astray, and he begins to establish the worship of golden calves in his kingdom. And because of this, God becomes extremely angry with him.
Yeah. Yes.
God brings down a punishment upon this, because he cannot tolerate that his people and somebody who is appointed by his prophet you know, go back and revert to the old ways of the Samari and the old ways of ancient Egypt, and to betray the God of Israel. And so God sends against them as a punishment the Assyrians.
Yes.
The Assyrians go in, they capture the entire kingdom of Israel, and they pretty much take them all out.
Yeah.
they literally imprison, capture all of the 10 tribes, and they take them out of Israel. And it says in the Bible that they scatter them amongst the nations.
Yeah.
Nobody remains except for the kingdom of the south. Yeah. The kingdom of the south, the kingdom of Judah, is saved. The kingdom of the north, 10 tribes, they become lost, scattered.
Wow. So no more Israel.
No more Israel. There's only now the kingdom of Judah.
Yeah. But that doesn't last long either.
That doesn't last long either. Why don't you tell us what happens?
Oh, just this is the famous Babylonian captivity. Not long after Nebuchadnezzar comes in, takes them out, and both kingdoms are no more. So now,
like Jesus said, anytime a house is split upon its own self, it fails. Yeah. And this is an example of that. The house of David, the house of Israel, split. And then they went astray, and one group got captured. The other group obviously becomes prey to the more strong, and they're also receive the anger of God upon them. Why is it? Because the Bible states that the king that was over them, the son of Solomon, Rehoboam, he's tyrannical, and he's not smart, he's immature, and he rules in a foolish way, and he oppresses his people, and so God sends the oppressor against him. Like in the hadith of the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, God says in a divine Qudsi hadith, the tyrant is a sword that I take revenge by, and then I take revenge from him. Meaning that God, sometimes he uses tyrants as a punishment, whether it be Hitler or Nebuchadnezzar or Pancha, whoever it is that's oppressing the people at the time. He uses Saddam Hussein, all these tyrants. These are punishments that God uses against his people that are sinning. And then in the end, he always takes revenge against them too, because they're tyrants.
Wow. It's so true, actually. When you look back at biblical history, this is exactly what was always going on. Wow.
Okay, so then now they're both gone. The 10 tribes they're scattered amongst the nations. Nobody even knows anything about them anymore. We're going to circle back around to what happens then to them. Okay. And the kingdom of Judah, it's known now where they are. They're still captured in Babylon, and they're under Nebuchadnezzar, and they remain captured for quite a while. Yeah. Until they end up, returning back after Cyrus and the rebuilding of the temple once again, and they go back and they live in the lands that was once called Israel.
Yes.
But the people that come back to Israel are not the 12 tribes. The people that come back are the people that were in Babylon. So the only ones that come back are not the kingdom of Israel, but rather only the kingdom of Judah.
Wow.
Do you understand?
Yes, I understand.
Yeah. So now it's really after the Babylonian captivity, the second phase is only a kingdom of Judah return. And God says that he does this, he keeps them, to fulfill his promise to David. What was his promise to David? That the Messiah would come from them. Yes. So the only reason why he saves and returns Judah back to the homeland is because he promised that he was going to send to them Jesus the Messiah. And so God fulfills this promise by keeping the tribe of Judah, whom the Messiah was promised to come from being scattered amongst the nations.
That's so interesting.
It is interesting, isn't it? So now Jesus is sent. He comes to the kingdom of Judah, and the Judeans, or the Jews, and that's the reason why the people that follow this religion of Moses are called Jews. They're called Jews because they are from the tribe of Judah.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that, actually.
You didn't know that?
But of course it makes sense. Judaism, of course.
Judaism.
And that is what remained.
So the religion that is now called Judaism is not the religion of the Israel. It's the religion of the tribe of Judah. It's their understanding of it. It's their writings of it. They name themselves after Judah, not after Israel.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes, I see that. Wow.
Okay. So then what takes place? They reject their Messiah. It is the tribe of Judah and the tribe of Benjamin, what remains of it. But in reality, it's actually the tribe of Judah who now oppresses the Messiah and who is guilty of rejecting him and guilty of basically causing him to be sentenced to the cross.
Oh my gosh. I mean, that's, to be honest, like hearing how God kept his promise to the tribe of Judah, what he had said, he preferred them in so many ways, gave them so many chances. It makes it so much worse what happened, how they rejected the Messiah, the Lion of Judah. Like, it's just so tragic.
So then what takes place after that, as you know, the punishment takes place in 70 AD, and the Romans come in, they sack Jerusalem, and they disperse and send in exile the kingdom of Judah. And now many of the Jews from the tribe of Judah, they become scattered amongst the nations. The tribe of Benjamin becomes scattered amongst the nations. And obviously the other 10 tribes are already scattered. And so what takes place then? Then some of those Jews are able to hold on to their identity, and they continue to practice Judaism. So they remain, and most of them become scattered and dispersed.
Yes.
The 10 tribes and the ones that got dispersed and scattered, they all forget their identity. And the idea is, which we're going to come to, is that they are existing in the earth today and they don't even know who they are. They don't know that they are actual descendants of the prophet Jacob. They are actually descendants from the Jews, and they are of a different religion even, different culture, different nationality, but they don't know that that's their original history. Wow. And that's all from the Bible. And so what takes place after that is that after World War II, the Jews that are brought back into the lands that are now called by the world Israel are the remnants of the tribe of Judah, or the remnants of the kingdom of Judah before.
Okay.
And so to call the country today Israel is actually a fallacy, because it is only the people that are in there are Jews. They're not Israelites. They're Jews.
I get it.
Do you understand?
Yes, I understand. They're not Israelites.
No,
wow.
It's the return of the kingdom of Judah, which is mixed with a bunch of Gentiles who claim to be Jews, but they're not really descendants of the kingdom of Judea, along with some real descendants from Judah.
Wow. Wow. That's a way of thinking about the whole situation that never occurred to me, but it's absolutely true. That's the history when you trace it back.
That's their own history.
Wow.
That's what their Old Testament is saying. That's what their Torah is saying. It's not what we're saying.
Yeah.
That's what happened. And then we come to the question of, okay, well, what happens now to these lost tribes? Well, this is where the New Testament comes in. This is where the Bible comes in now.
Okay.
And we go to the book of Revelation, and we get the answer in there. And the answer is that these lost tribes of Israel end up being gathered again. Mm-hmm. And they become gathered when, Tiffany?
When Jesus returns, in the second
Jesus
coming.
returns, and when the Son of Man, it states, gathers them.
Yes.
And there are 12,000 from every one of those tribes. 12,000 from the tribe of Judah, 12,000 from the tribe of Simeon, 12,000 from the tribe of Reuben, 12,000 from Dan, and until there's 12,000 times 12. Yeah. And it's 12,000 times 12 that makes up the 144,000 that appear on Mount Zion.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
In the end times for the final battle of Armageddon.
Wow. So how? How is this possible?
How is this possible? And who are they?
Yeah. That's a great mystery.
It is a great mystery. And so now we know that the Messiah, which they killed and they rejected, he is the one who comes back in the end times with a character called the Son of Man, which the Christians consider the Son of Man to be Jesus. Yes. But also there's the opinion that the Son of Man is not Jesus, but he's actually the Mahdi of Islam that Jesus comes down with. Mm-hmm. it is in that time of Jesus and the Mahdi that brings forward the lost tribes of Israel and brings them home. And so the real state of Israel comes, but it comes only with the return of the true Messiah of Israel.
Yes. So this that we have
is a fake Israel.
Wow.
It's just the kingdom of Judah. It's the Jews, the tribe of Judah, along with some Gentiles trying to pose and speak on behalf of the rest of the tribes.
Oh my gosh. That's a bombshell. That really, this whole discussion is a bombshell because it's a completely different way of thinking about of the state of Israel that we have today and what is really supposed to take place. There's all these prophecies in the Old Testament talking about prophesizing that there will be a return, like a gathering of the scattered tribes. And then this is mentioned, as you said, again in Revelation, this is the fulfillment. Yeah. And they claim that what has happened in the building of the state of Israel is this gathering, but it's clear from the evidence that that is not the case.
Yeah, and you have this country now with this prime minister and this government that's committing all these acts and doing all these things and launching wars and saying that they speak on behalf of all Israelis and that they are Israel. When in reality, we know by their own book that most of Israel, 10 other tribes from Israel, they last saw them when they were in conflict with each other. Yeah. So those last 10 tribes, last time they were together, they were declaring themselves innocent from these Jews. Yes. They were like, we're doing tabarru from them. We have nothing to do with these guys. These guys are evil, and they're following a fake vice chair that was not appointed by God. And it was these 10 tribes who also went astray, but now they could be anywhere in the world and they could be not feeling and not in agreement or alignment with the actions of those who are speaking on behalf of all of them. Because Israel only means the collective voice of the 12 tribes. Without the 12 tribes, there is no Israel. For Israel to exist, it has to be the 12.
It has to. It has to. So we have a stolen kingdom.
A stolen kingdom. Wow. And that is the kingdom of Judah.
Wow.
Okay, so where are these tribes now? And is there any more hints or evidence behind where they could be? And I think that the answer comes, now we talked about Judaism, we talked about Christianity. Let's look at Islam. Maybe it has the key.
Okay, let's do it.
Maybe that's where it's at.
Okay.
Well, we have some really interesting hadiths in Islam from the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he comes, he brings the Quran, and the Quran has in it lots of stories of the children of Israel. A lot. Focus on it. And it mentions Moses more than it does any other prophet.
Yeah.
And the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in a famous hadith he says, I am Muhammad, and my name is Ahmed. And Muslims know that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ has many names. One of his names is Muhammad, one's Ahmed, one's Mahmud, one's Mustafa. These are all names of the Habib. These are all names of the beloved Prophet of Allah ﷺ. So he has a lot of names. Mm-hmm. So in this hadith he says, I am Muhammad, and my name is Ahmed. I am Muhammad, and my name is Abdullah. So Abdullah is also one of his names. La ilaha illallah, Muhammadin, Abduhu, Rasuluhu. He's Rasulullah and he's Abdullah.
Okay.
And then he says, and I am Muhammad, and my name is Israel. My name is Israel.
Wow.
Whatever was given to Israel is given to me. And whatever was meant by Israel was meant for me. And then another hadith clarifies that the Ahl Bayt said, any verse in the Quran which is positively speaking about the Israelites is actually speaking about Muhammad and the family of Muhammad alayhi salam.
Wow.
So how can we have a verse in the Quran speaking about the children of Israel, but it also applies to the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and his family and his true followers, because people that are from the family of Muhammad are also people like Salman, who are not physically his descendants, but people that are close to him, unless the lost tribes of Israel became followers of the religion of Islam and followers of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ.
Wow. Wow.
And so here we get the secret. The secret's unlocked in this hadith, where the Prophet says, Israel is my name. I'm Israel.
Wow.
And so his followers, because he said, I am the father of the nation. So anybody who's a follower of Muhammad is a Bani Muhammad. And if his name is Ahmad, then they're Bani Ahmad, or Bani Mustafa, or Bani Mahmud, or Bani Israel.
Wow.
Is the followers, the true followers of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And so we find out that the 10 tribes that made up the kingdom of Israel, they became scattered, and they went past the Euphrates into Iraq and into these different countries that now became Muslim countries, and they ended up following Muhammad and the family of Muhammad. And so he has followers that are Muslim. These tribes now are Muslim tribes that recognize the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They're still scattered. It doesn't mean that like all of Iran or all of Iraq or all of Lebanon are members. No, but particular true believers that are amongst these people. But they recognize Muhammad. These are where the 10 tribes are. And it is the Mahdi alayhi salam who will be able to distinguish them, because out of all of these Muslims, the ones that pledge allegiance and recognize the Mahdi and you can only recognize Jesus, the son of Mary, if you're with the Mahdi, because Jesus, according to the narrations, he appears while the people are praying with the Mahdi. So only those who pledge allegiance to the Mahdi recognize the Mahdi are going to be able to recognize Jesus. And it is those who are with Jesus and with the Mahdi who are the 144,000 or the 12 tribes of Israel. And from them, obviously, is also from the tribe of Judah, because there will be people in the current so-called state of Israel that will end up actually recognizing and converting to the religion of the Mahdi. And there's also descendants of Judah that are still around the world that are not citizens of Israel. All of those people will end up following the Mahdi. And so that is the reason why the name Israel it's not allowed to call the state of Israel, Israel. It would be offensive to those other tribes, and it's just not a reality. It's not a reality by the standards of the Torah. It's not a reality by the standards of the Gospels. You can't be a Jew and you can't be a Christian if you are calling the current state Israel, because it's just not what it is. And now we know who they are. And now we know that this war, this ancient war that has been taking place between the kingdom of Israel and the kingdom of Judah is still going on today in the form of this war between the Jews and the Muslims.
That's incredible. That's absolutely incredible. This scriptural explanation for what's going on, and this ancient, it goes back much further than we even realize. This rivalry between the Muslims and the Jewish people, it's actually, going back to the time of Solomon. That's amazing.
So now we have this name, and that all of the Arabs are cursing, and they're saying, down with Israel and death to Israel, when in reality they shouldn't say it, because it's the name of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
That's crazy. It's so true.
And it's time now for those tribes of Israel and the Ansar of Imam al-Mahdi to reclaim back those symbols that are being stolen by the tribe of Judah and being hoarded as if it only belongs to them. And it needs to be taken away from them and proudly raised up by the true 12 tribes. And those are the ones whom follow the Mahdi alayhi salam and Jesus, the Messiah of the children of Israel in this time. And this name, Israel, it's a holy name that belonged to a prophet, and it was Jacob, and it is a holy name and is one of those names that belong to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam. So Israel sallallahu alayhi wa alihi is the name of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi, the best of creation.
You know, I feel really excited and really happy to know that the true Israel, the true coming together of these scattered tribes is coming.
It is coming. And it's already here. It's just a matter of them coming forward now and recognizing who the Mahdi is. And by recognizing who the Mahdi is, they're going to recognize themselves, and they're going to restore the true state of Israel, a divine just state, and the state of Muhammad and the family of Muhammad.
Amazing.
God bless you, Tiffany, and thank you again for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me.
Assalamu alaikum.